Do you spend too much time with distractions either on the phone or on your laptop while you actually should be working on more important tasks to grow your agency or e-com brand? Then I'm going to show you the 4-step process to maximize your focus and your attention so you're working on the right things, grow your business the most efficient way possible, and stop wasting time. How much time are you spending on your phone or any screen per day? And how much time of that is wasted time? What's up, guys? This is Kilian, and I'm gonna walk you through the 4 steps that you have to go through to really maximize your focus and avoid distractions. If you're an agency or e-com brand owner, you probably know this. More often than not, you have to check any notifications, or the team wants something from you, or on Slack you have to do something, or maybe even you do some marketing or lead gen or sales, social media related tasks. Anything wants your attention and it sucks you inside this distracted mode, and you're working more inside the operations on putting out fires instead of just working on those really important tasks that grow the business, and therefore make sure that you have more time and less stress and enjoy your business journey along the way. So it all comes back down to the focus and the distractions. So what are the 4 steps that I would recommend you to go through to maximize your focus hours and reduce the time you spend on distractions? Let's start with step number 1. Step number 1 is you have to develop awareness. Go through a typical day, check out your screen time, and think about how many hours of that is usually distracted, where I'm not really purposefully doing stuff. For most people, it's actually close or more than half of the time that, you go into something, you just want to post something maybe, and then boom, 10, 20 minutes go down the drain, and boom, you don't get that time back, and you don't even know what you were about to do because there's so many things always popping up. Our brain is not made for this. And other things might be simply tasks that are, there for the business, of course, but you shouldn't be doing them. Could also be seen as distractions or time waste if someone else should be doing them. So first one, awareness. Write this down. Ask yourself, what are the typical times in the day I usually get distracted? For a lot of people, it is usually in the morning when they directly see messages. For other people, it's in the evening when they go on social media. Actually, I'm curious. Comment down below in the comments, what is it for you? When do you feel like you get distracted the most? And maybe also what helps you to avoid these distractions? And curious to see and read your answers. So step number 1 is the awareness part. Then once you know that, you can go to step number 2, which is that you have to make it easy for you to not get distracted. So what you want to do, for example, with the phone here, you want to adapt it in such a way that it's very easy for you to not get distracted, basically. That's something we do with our clients. We help them really adapt the phone to make it really bulletproof and make sure that they get rid of all those distractions. For a lot of people, there's a number of things. Notifications, red dots, access to social media, instinctive checking of the phone. Do you know that sometimes when you're like bored maybe, or you're procrastinating, let's just quickly open Instagram, let's just quickly open YouTube and scroll a little bit here and there. That is one of those signs, and that is a huge time suck in your day, or especially in the evening where you just feel like, I want to relax, but does it really relax you to check and scroll with stuff? And that's why it's important to make sure to not go overboard with this. So how do we do this in step 2? We need to implement things where we deactivate certain notifications, where we deactivate, for example, the red dots. All of that stuff can go. And then the other point is you need to make it difficult for you to access if you don't want to check them at the time. Okay, so that means there's app blockers that you can implement, but there's different types of app blockers you can use that help you to avoid this instinctive checking of apps. I have several of those installed on my phone. There's a number of them. Some work better than others. For example, Freedom is one that works kind of okay. There's a better one right now. It's called OneSec by a German developer. It's a really good one. I really recommend that one. And there's more things you can do to adapt your phone. But keep in mind, install the shortcuts if you have an iPhone to trigger airplane modes, for example. And there's many more tricks like that to make sure that when you don't want to have access to the internet or don't want to get distracted, you activate app blockers, shortcuts, downtime modes, black and white, so the grayscale feature, is to make it basically unattractive for you to check the phone all the time. That's step number 2. Then step number 3 is to make sure that you set the right expectations and boundaries with your team. Now, if I tell you, block away Slack and at 7 a.m. in the morning so you don't directly check it and waste time there instead of working on the most important tasks first, well, what's going to happen is if you feel like I need to be available, then you will actually still want to go in there and you will deactivate the app blocker and so on. And you will feel bad about it. So that's why you need to set the expectations with your team. Say, okay, I'm not available at these times. Don't expect me to in the morning check messages. And the same thing with your clients. It's unreasonable at all to really expect someone to check stuff directly in the morning. So why do you do it? That's the first thing. And if you set the proper company documentations, people have SOPs, people know what they have to do. You don't need to directly check everything in the morning. Why? It's not necessary. You can use these hours if you're more focused to work on important tasks. That's very important. Then other tips are, for example, to have an emergency phone that people can reach you so you still feel calm, nothing's gonna happen, and you can just work on these deep work hours. Then the 4th and final step is actually to learn how to need less input and less distractions. And that's actually our brain's addiction for getting shiny inputs and basically triggering our dopamine circuit. When you go to social media, when you see shiny colors, all of that is triggering our brain in some way. And that's why you always want more and more input because you can't seem to get enough. That's a whole topic in itself, the whole topic of dopamine and how it makes you actually be less motivated if you overdo it and you don't feel this drive anymore. So what does that mean? If you, for example, spend simply too much time on YouTube, on Instagram, and you get all triggered by these shiny colors and these shiny things that are happening there, then of course your brain will always want more. There's even studies that show that when you have a dopamine spike, your baseline levels of dopamine are going down, meaning you have less of that drive to do things. And that's horrible, of course. People talked about this in the past, dopamine detoxing, getting rid of a lot of social media and screens for many days in a row, or even for one day, having a day on a Saturday or Sunday where you do just a spa day, just relaxing, maybe just in nature, something like this, but no triggering stuff. Very simple, very boring. So you get to enjoy the small things and get to learn to enjoy them without needing to be flashy all the time. Especially if you're an agency e-com brand owner who works on the computer all day, or any online entrepreneur for that matter, your brain's gonna be hijacked all the time and you need to counter against it. Replace these habits of feeling addicted to input, to social media, to YouTube, to all of that stuff. Replace it with better habits for your body. Mindfulness exercises, what we have been designed for. That's why we are, how we have evolved to do these types of things. This will reduce stress and it will reset also a little bit those dopamine levels. And then you're able to enjoy things more and not so addicted to all of that, because that is just impacting your happiness and also your effectiveness in your business. If you want more content like this, then go hit the subscribe button below and activate the clock, or just don't do it because it's another notification. I'll leave that up to you. And if you want more help with maximizing your own focus so you have better happiness, more well-being, and also grow your business the most efficient way possible, then go to kilianmarket.com and apply for your free consultation call. And on that call, we're gonna come up with a plan together how to maximize this for you and make sure that you grow your business the most efficient way possible. Leave the like below if you enjoyed the video, and then see you on the next episode.